Hello, hello, hello. It's Friday, baby. How is everyone doing? My name is Lady T, and I'm here with Mr. Know-It-All. Welcome back, Mr. Know-It-All. We're back in session, and it feels good. How are you doing?
Well, Lady T, I am excited. This is the start of season 2. So I'm really excited about that. Last year, or last season, we had about 11 episodes and we went all the way to Black History Month.
Yes.
Hooray for that. And we're coming back this year, starting season 2, in March on Women's History, International History Month.
Yes.
So I'm excited about that. Yes?
Absolutely. I did not want to miss the month of March for Women's History because it's so important that we discuss it and talk about it. And we have a very special guest today.
We do. Distinguished, wonderful guest, an old-time friend, and just all-around great individual. Can't say enough good things about her.
Yes.
And to bring the Women's International Month in, I really think she's the perfect person. And then Siri's talking now. So who do we have as our guest?
Our very special guest and dear friend is Miss Charlene Gary. How are you doing, Charlene?
Hey, Charlene.
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Great. We wanted to make sure we just talk to you because this is an important month for women. And we know that you have many contributions and have always helped. And we wanted to celebrate women, and we're going to celebrate you as well. So how does that sound?
Yes. So let's do a couple of some incredible. Let's just give a little intro. So Charlene Gary is a member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a former president. Is that correct?
That is correct. Former president of the local chapter.
Local chapter.
It's
Wonderful.
The Westchester Alumni Chapter of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority. So
yes.
And currently, you are the vice president of the the NAACP in your neck of the woods. Hang on one second. The Greenberg NAACP. Is that correct?
That is correct. Second vice president of the White Plains Greenberg branch of the NAACP.
Yep. Wow. So, and when you're not busy doing all those great things, you're also a senior manager at Samsung Corporation, doing benefits and human resource.
Yes, that is correct.
That's Samsung Electronics America.
So when did you sleep, Charlotte? I mean, because what is going on? You are so bad. You Women's International.
No sleep. No sleep. It's well balanced. It's balanced. I know people usually ask me, how do you do it all? When do you have time to do anything else? But it all works together. It all fits in. And, in addition to working with the sorority and the NAACP, I still have time to travel and visit with family and sleep. I do like sleeping. So it all balances out.
Great. So we're going to kind of dissect a little bit of your life. So we do appreciate that. And so, I saw something really interesting. So I'm going to start with, things I thought was really great. Some event that you had recently. So this was the Women's History book signing with A.J. Woodson, the author of Black Westchester Celebrates Black Women of Westchester. Can you share with us a little bit what that was about and how that came to fruition?
Sure. A.J. Woodson is a local gentleman who runs a radio show, and he has a newspaper and a magazine, and he came up with this idea to write a book about Black women of Westchester because he felt that the women in our area needed to be honored and featured in this book. And it was an idea that he came about. He wrote the book, and then the NAACP thought, well, you know what? We're going to sponsor a book signing for you so that you can come and talk about how you wrote the book, what gave you the idea to do it, and talk about some of the women that you feature in the book. And then we also co-sponsored this event with the Iota Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And we did not know how many people we expected to come, but we figured it was a good enough cause, and during not Black History Month, Women's International History Month, to feature this book. And we had over 100 attendees, so we couldn't believe it. And then a lot of the women that are featured in the book also came.
Wow.
So it ended up being an opportunity for those women to speak. It started out with just having AJ speak about the book and have people ask questions, but it turned into like a living history moment where each woman that was present was able to give a little bit about her story to the crowd. Wow. And I want to say there were at least 12 to 15 of them present, from senators to state legislators, entrepreneurs, and it was great. So the audience had a chance to ask questions and take pictures and get the book autographed. So it was really turned out to be a great event for us.
That is wonderful.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at pictures. You had a great turnout, but the way you're describing it, I mean, it's just, it actually took a life of its own, because the people, really talked about the experiences and brought the book alive. Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, kudos.
It's amazing. Awesome. AJ, he was really excited. I was like, I hope you have enough books. He's like, I have enough books. Well, he ran out of books. I think the last 3 people. So he sold over 100 books within that time. So
that's excellent.
Great event.
Yeah, you guys always, do some incredible things. I know we had a great opportunity to perform at your summer festival.
Yes.
Pre-pandemic. So I think that was 2018 or 19, something like that. So, man,
yes,
but that's
the African American Heritage Festival is another event that I was co-chairing. Now I chair that event, and that's another community organization that has been around for 37 years. I think this is our 37th year coming up, where we feature African American artists and musicians and poets and vendors and food. So let me put a little plug. It's every 4th Sunday in June.
Yeah.
So this year will be June 25th. So anyone in the Westchester County area, please come out from 12 to 6 at the Kensico Dam Plaza in Valhalla, New York. Nice. And yes, we were one of our featured performers one year, which was great.
Now this is really funny. We have a friend of ours that's in nursing, and she has a lot of nursing friends. So they live in that area, and they saw us up there, and they're like, "Hey!" And we had such a great time. But it's a great event. It's a beautiful scenic space. The vendors and the food. Oh my God, it's just amazing.
Yeah, the colors.
Yeah.
Everyone is wonderful.
And you have a great lineup, of talent there. So that's it's always a great thing. So make sure to lock it on the calendars, and it should be really great, because it always is. Yeah. And I know you're recovering from the the pandemic. You did it last year, but the year before the year before that, right? You kind of out, right?
Right. For 2 years we did not have it. So last year was the first year we came back. And it just seemed like everyone was waiting for us to do it again. It was so crowded and packed as usual.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we expect the same crowd again. And then people find us on our Facebook page. So it's the Westchester County African American Heritage Festival.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
You guys do such wonderful things. And I just ran across that you have a program, Dollars for Scholars, that is being done by the Delta Sigma Theta sorority. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the Westchester Alumni Chapter, we give out scholarships every year to deserving young ladies graduating from high school and going on to college. And pre-pandemic, we had a scholarship brunch that would have about anywhere from 600 to 700 attendees. And the funds that we generated from that event would go towards scholarships. So
Wow.
since the pandemic, we haven't been able to have that large crowd of the brunch. This was the first year that things were starting to open up and people are more, I guess, feel comfortable going out. But the venue where we had our event closed during the pandemic. They didn't survive during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And then a lot of the areas are not large enough. So this year we are having the in-person brunch, which is sold out right now, but it's a smaller venue. So the committee came up with the idea to have a Dollars for Scholars in addition to those attending, to kind of still raise the money that we want to be able to give out the scholarships to these deserving young ladies. So the Dollars for Scholars is an opportunity for anyone to donate money towards the scholarships that we give out every year. And we also have a Facebook page. So if everyone looks up Westchester Deltas on Facebook, you can find out more information about that program and how to donate and give towards that.
Yeah, and that's really, really smart in a pivot because, as everything starts to open back up, unfortunately, some things are not here. I mean, it's just the way it is. A lot of people, just like real life, a lot of things just didn't survive. So a lot of business, and I'm seeing that overall in everything, especially with music. It took music and live performance. It all took a deep, deep turn, and some of it's coming back, and some of it may never come back. So this is really great that you've done something like that because it opens up, where you're kind of limited in your space, right? But virtually, and what you're doing from the scholarship side, it really makes a lot of sense. So hats off, Charlene.
Kudos, Charlene.
Thank you. Thank you.
Changes is required. So you guys have really figured out how to do it. And changing is just the way it is. That's, it's everyday life. So this is perfect. And everyone should definitely donate to that because it is.
Yes, please donate.
Yes.
And it's tax deductible.
Yes.
And you probably have a corporate
matching.
match, right? Because you guys it's under a 503. Yeah. So it'll be matched.
501c, yeah.
Great.
Oh, this is good.
And people don't know when you say corporate match, a lot of people who work for the big organizations don't realize that if they donate, their company will match. And so you just kind of have to inquire because I found that there were companies that if you want sponsorship, you go to your human resource department, as many people don't know, and say, I'm donating to this charity. And they say, okay, we'll match it. So that doubles the dollars.
Yeah.
So that's important that people should be aware of that as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Mentioning that.
So actually, I'm going to go back a little bit. So I see, and during Black History Month, right? So of course you're the busiest lady next to James Brown, right? Always working. I see him during February, during that event that they were Samsung Electronics of America was shining spotlights on different employees, and they decided to have a conversation with you in regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this is a big thing that you see a lot in all organizations. And what's really great is that it's really becoming the forefront, not just in corporate America, but in the overall society, which I think is really good. So if you can share with, you had some really great things you spoke about. If you can share with us, some of your obstacles and how you overcame as a Black woman in the tech space and as a Black woman and just doing all the great things you're doing. And what's really great, hats off, is that, you're looking back and passing the baton. So you can share a little bit about what you see in that space. That would be really great to share with the audience.
Sure. Yeah, that was a special honor for them to ask me if I wanted to be featured or to feature me. So I was really surprised at that. And honored that they thought of me to spotlight for the month of February. And they asked some very candid questions, and I was very forthcoming in my responses. I guess at some point you just, you know what, I'm just gonna put it out there. But one of the questions was asking about obstacles and how do you overcome them as a Black woman in corporate America. And I think my response was more like, there's always going to be obstacles for us, and we just have to keep plowing through. And I mentioned that my parents instilled in myself and my brothers that, to keep going. You can't worry about what other people are saying as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do and you know that you're doing something right. You just have to worry about yourself and keep going. Don't be bothered about what other people say or how they feel about you or what their thoughts are about you. And that's how I've been pretty much from school age through my careers. And that's how I treat work as well. So, no matter what, I do what I'm supposed to do, or I feel that's right. I don't do anything outside of my moral character, and I treat everyone the same. So from the facilities people, a cafeteria, all the way up to the president of the company, I treat everybody the same way. And people really respect that. And what I've found is I'm usually one of the only or few African Americans in the room in the benefit space. It's kind of, even today, I go to meetings regionally, and I'm usually the only Black person in the room. But I don't feel uncomfortable about it because I'm pretty confident and
comfortable in your skin.
yes. So, and I don't, it works for me. But I do, it would be great to see more African American women or African American men in the spaces where I am. But I just have to keep pushing in and keep going. And then I talked a little bit about titles. Some people get hung up on titles, oh, I'm not a VP yet, I'm not a senior exec. But all of that, to me, the title is not the most important. It's how you treat people and how people treat you and the respect that you get. So I feel that I get the respect that I deserve just by being who I am and bringing my authentic self to the table. And pretty much that was, I'm trying to think of some of the other questions they asked.
I'll remind you of a couple of things, but I want to go back because, in a lot of corporate entities, let's just say, you're so right. I want to go back to something you had mentioned in regards to people get hung up on the titles, senior vice president, partner, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, I like what you said.
Absolutely.
Who you are as your authentic self, number one, but how you treat people really speaks volumes about your character. And, I know you for a long time. So when you speak these things, I'm like, yep, that's absolutely Charlene. And I've seen her not just, speak it, but walk it, and that is so important. And sometimes we get lost in those titles or what the titles actually mean. But what it really means to me personally is that you're there for a specific reason and to illuminate a space,
right,
and not and try not to miss that point.
And I just want to add in that I definitely applaud you because I know that you mentioned you sometimes the only one in the room, but you're breaking the barriers, you're breaking down the doors for the next people behind you. And you're so appreciated for that. You don't realize that it's tougher for you, but you're making it a little bit better for the next person behind you. So thank you for that. Because we know.
Let's get real plain.
And I know in my prior employer, when I was hired there, I guess I was the first African American in HR, and so many of the African American or people of color employees would come to me and just say, I'm so happy to see you here. You don't know what it means to have you here. We are so proud. And, that was the first time that I experienced that. And I was like, wow. And it didn't really hit me because when I started, I'm used to being the only one. So it wasn't a big thing for me to be the only one at that time. But just having those employees come up to me or come by my office just to say that was really big. Or see me in the hallway, just to say we're so happy that you're here. So great to see you, which was good.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. I am thankful that they did that as well.
So you mentioned another thing in your article, which is really, so this goes back to how we met years ago back at Sony. Wow, that's going back, right? That you co-founded Sony Black Employee ERG. Wow, do you remember? Obviously you do, but there were some challenges, and that organization did some really cool things. And so I guess that was, yeah, we're talking years, right? But that gave you good, a good foundation to move and do the things you're doing now.
It really did. There were two major things that happened there. One, and you probably remember this one, the display window.
Oh my God.
The display windows had, I guess there were four, and the windows at Sony Music were kind of like Saks Fifth Avenue Christmas, where everyone waited for them to be revealed. And when they were finally revealed, there was a gentleman figure in a pinstripe suit with a briefcase, and maybe he had a cell phone in his hand back then. And then the next window had like a teenager kind of pop rocker with pink hair, and she had, I don't know, let's say a laptop, let's say. And then you had a businesswoman in a suit with I don't know, what did she have? Maybe like a tablet kind of thing. And all of these figures were Caucasian. Wow. And then the next one window had it was the African American, but it was only half of a person. It was it was just legs hanging down from the ceiling piece with Timberland boots, unlaced, wife beater shirt on, and like the meanest faces of rappers you could see on magazine covers. And it had maybe I don't know, a boombox or something like that.
I think they had a basketball. Seriously, I remember.
I mean, just everything. And that was a Black person. Oh, and then the pants, one leg was rolled up. And I guess, really, and it was right around the reunion of the Million Man March. So a lot of the African-American men were really pumped up about what we needed to do to support our communities. And this just looked like a man suspended, kind of like a lynching, is how the African-American employees saw this.
Wow.
And the leaders they could not understand why we were so upset about the window display.
Yeah.
And, they just did not understand. They were like, it's just a mannequin. And we were like, no, everyone else is full figured. And this is just legs hanging from the ceiling with it. And he looks like he's being lynched. So finally, there was a senior exec, African-American male, that was able to talk to the leaders. And, through our group, we were able to get them to change. They couldn't change the windows because I guess it cost millions to put those windows in display and to have the artists. But with the work of our ERG, they did paint the businessman became a Black man, and businesswoman became like a Latino, and they actually painted the gentleman that was hanging white. So, that was the way they kind of remedied that situation. But in the future, they did not do that. Again, they were more sensitive to how what they displayed in the windows going forward. So I think our ERG really helped them focus on what they should include in these windows and be inclusive and really think about what they're putting in those windows before they make those decisions. And after that, they actually came to us when they had ideas, what do you think about this and that? So I think that was a good thing. That was the biggest change I saw with having the ERG present.
Nice.
Remember that. That was something.
Yeah.
That's a great beginning to start.
That is action.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
again, Charlene, you this is why I thought you'd be great for Women's International History Month, because you're a person that's contemporary. You're working in this space in this time and doing really great things. You're handing the baton back. So hats off to you, Charlene.
Yeah.
We've enjoyed talking to you, and we're going to be at some of these things that you're doing. And I'm always
Excellent.
excited about Charlene Gary.
Yes, and don't forget
Thank
Scholars for Scholars.
Yes.
Yes.
Again, and please donate. It really is important as we
Please.
honor Charlene Gary and celebrate her achievements and contributions, because it's it's the last day.
Yes, right. The
Friday.
end.
So I
of.
didn't want to miss it, and we have the perfect person.
Yeah.
Thank you, Charlene. We really appreciate your interview today.
So
Thank you so much
we
for
in the
having
show.
me.
I know you don't know this, but because it's probably your first time checking us out, but we in the show with some music. And what kind of music? What do we have this week for the music?
In honor of Women's International History Month, we are going to tribute a song from the Rubyboo Records and Entertainment label.
That's my favorite label, right? I love that
And
label.
Charlene,
Mine as well.
All right. That's what I'm saying.
In honor of that, we are going to play Ebony Queen. And
Ah.
it's beautiful, and it's one of
An
my
ode.
favorites as well.
Ebony Queen is an ode to Black women.
Yes.
So
Nice.
mother, sister, wife, man.
You're the giver of a life.
That's
You're my
right.
Ebony Queen.
Ebony Queen. So
We have some wonderful vocals on there by
Great.
Michael Wooten as
yeah,
well.
right, exactly. And people have questions.
If anyone has any questions or concerns or anything that they'd like us to discuss, please feel free to email us. Our email address is info@itsfridaybaybay.com. That's info@itsfriday, and it's BAYBAY.com. And so I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of the day. And it's Friday, and we're going to love hearing our Ebony Queen song. And thank you, Charlene, so much. We really enjoyed you.
And it's always great because you know why?
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 Because
It's Friday, baby. views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, opinions of any agency and or platform. The material and information presented here is for general information and entertainment purposes only. It's Friday, Baybay. Name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use is not an endorsement or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.